Well, I have the pleasure of being joined by Jack Lester in his living room in Sheffield. Jack, it's a fair few months now since you left Chesterfield.
Yep.
What's been happening in your life?
Well, when we retired, we rented our house out for a year and we went travelling. The plan was to go away for a year. Didn't quite work out that way. We drove through Europe for a few months, but came back a bit earlier than we planned before Christmas and rented up in Sheffield, and here we are.
Travelling Europe, it's something that most people probably would like the idea of doing. Is the reality somewhat different?
No, there were some magic moments. It was superb. You know, we had a lot of quality time with the kids, and you know, the lads start school in September, so it's the last chance really to get a big block of time together. So it was hard work, obviously, but not. It was fantastic stuff, really, and driving around in Italy, France, and seeing a bit of the world with your kids. It was superb.
And what was the plan, to stay in various different hotels en route?
No, we were at campsites, so we took the estate car and away we went.
Under the canvas then, as it were?
Well, most of the time we had a static home on the sites, but we had friends along route. We had friends in France, friends in Italy, so we were staying with friends for some of the time as well. And then we went to see a couple of football academies on the way. It was, you know, there was going to be a lot of football coaching and getting experience in that field while we were away, and I managed to do that in France too.
So it came as a bit of a surprise to some. I mean, I obviously keep an eye on what you're doing on Facebook, but the next I heard that you were coming out of retirement, as it were, to play at Gateshead. What was the background to that?
Well, we came back in October time, November time, and we were meant to be away till May. So I was at a bit of a loose end, really, because we hadn't planned to be in the country. So my friend, who's assistant manager Darren Caskey at Gateshead, rang me up and said, "Will you come and play for us?" I think the transfer window was beginning to shut in January, and they were a little bit short up top, and I was like, "Well, I don't think I'm really in a fit state to do that." So we'll come and have a week's training, and I went up, and after a week or two I was loving it again, and it was one of the best decisions I made. What
was the first day like back in training? Were you somewhat off the pace?
The first week I thought I made a mistake. The first day I came home and I said, I'm a mile away. But they gave me time, and you know, Gary Mills, the manager up there, was superb and very positive, and they allowed me a couple of weeks to get up to speed, and it turned out to be a real great experience.
And we look back on your performance there in terms of games played and goals scored. I made 8 and 3 before we started interviewing, but you quite rightly pointed out to me you only started 4 games.
I started 4, yeah. I started 4 in a row. I was on a bit of a run, and then I pulled my groin, which I suppose was, you know, not been in great condition to begin with. But it was one of those things. I managed to get back in and back on the bench for the playoffs and for the final as well. So it was a great time, and the group was very together. We always thought we were going to do it. I think we went on an unbeaten run of about 15 games. I've never been into a squad so together, and it was through the manager and the assistant manager and what they bring you together, the positivity, and I learnt a lot actually in those months' time. And you know, you drop to that level, you don't think you'll learn anything, and I learned so much.
Keeping an eye on Gateshead for next season, what would your expectations be for them as a club next season?
Well, the problem they have is they've got one of the lowest crowds, and they'll have the budget. There'll be 10, 11, 12, 13 teams with much bigger budgets. And Luton had the biggest budget this year and won the league, and if you look right through the leagues, the team with the biggest budget does it. So what they have got is a very together squad, very motivated, hard-working. So they'll have a chance. But unfortunately, you know, money dictates who wins these things, and that they'll have to bridge a significant gap.
Bigger budgets tend to play that way all throughout the league, don't they?
Yeah.
The team with the biggest budgets tend to win.
Yeah.
From a standards point of view, Jack, how would you describe the standard, what they now call the skilled Premier level? I used to think of it as conference.
Yeah.
Compared to, let's say, the lowest level of league football, League 2.
Well, I think at the top level there's not a lot in it. At the top of the conference, because you know, I would have Luton to go up again next year. That you know, the team who wins that conference normally is strong enough to go up again. But down towards the bottom, you get a couple of part-time teams, and they're nowhere near as good as League 2, and they won't get into the league. But if you look at the top end, there's not a lot in it. But as a whole spectrum of the league, there is space to be made up. Yeah, definitely.
We are seeing players come through from non-league, aren't we? Chesterfield, case in point, they got Brindley, didn't they? Who's now playing for a championship club with Rotherham, Richard Brindley.
Yeah.
And Chesterfield, of course, got the 2 lads from Well, the one lad from FC United, Ollie Banks.
Mm.
So players at that level, Dan Gardner from Halifax, that it is possible to actually play at that level and break your way through into a league club.
Yeah, there is, and there's a lot of talent down there. I was quite surprised. There's 2 or 3 players at Gateshead, and people asked me, is there anyone at that club who could, and there's 2 or 3 outstanding players. I was quite surprised at the standard, and I suppose if I was to go into coaching or work at that level, then it would be definitely a market I would look to.
Excellent. Now, your short time at Gateshead was capped, wasn't it, by a goal at Wembley? What are your thoughts when you look back on that, Jack?
Well, I thought the end at Chesterfield was the dream ending, really, with the 2 goals on my last appearance, and coming out of retirement, a few people said I was doing the wrong thing, and I wondered myself, because I thought I had this fairy tale ending, and I was saying to the wife, it's going to be such a kind of come down to finish, probably in a conference team mid-table and playing for fans who not really, I've got no kind of relationship with. But to then go and last touch at Wembley, it was superb, and I was really pleased that I'd come out. The sad thing was I was just convinced we were going to do it, and I thought what a way to finish would be this promotion at Wembley, and it wasn't quite to be. It wasn't the fairy tale that I'd hoped for, but to score a goal was a nice consolation.
I understand your number 1 fan was there, Jack. Zoe, did you manage to see her at Wembley?
I didn't see her at Wembley. I was looking out for her. I saw her yesterday, so we caught up then, and I think she's going to the game on Sunday as well. But it was lovely.
That's a big fan, isn't it, that goes to Wembley to see a club that's not hers just because you're playing?
Oh yeah, I mean, as fans go, she's number 1, and I think she's been an award for that this year as well. And
she did, quite rightly.
She's been just a tremendous support to me throughout my time at Chesterfield and beyond.
Now, burning question, Jack. That goal at Wembley. Is that the last goal that you'll score at professional or semi-professional level?
I imagine it will be. I'd like to go into full-time coaching now. I've got 1 or 2 things coming up in that area, and I think so. Yeah, I'm pretty convinced it is. But I said the last time I knew.
Never say never.
Yeah, never say never. But I would hope I'm in a full-time coaching role in this season coming up. What
do you replace the thrill of scoring goals with from a coaching point of view? It's very different playing and coaching, isn't it?
Well, every time you watch managers, and as I've watched up and I see how frustrated they are on the line, and I put that down to now, as my age and experience, is they just want to be out there. And you're kicking every ball and you get frustrated because you think you do something different. And I think a lot of times you see these managers with the frustration that they show is just, there's almost a frustration that they're not playing anymore.
Yeah. Did you see Steve Evans, just out of interest, when he celebrated the equaliser?
I haven't. It's the only playoff game I missed, but I've seen him at the B2 net when he celebrated a goal. So and I was quite amazed at that celebration. But fair play to him. He's been superb for Rotherham, and they're into the Championship, and that's a great kind of, not role model, because I don't think Chesterfield fans will call Rotherham role models, but a kind of blueprint of what's possible at Chesterfield.
Yeah, the chairman wanted to get them to Championship, and by hook or by crook they've done it, haven't they?
Yeah, and fair play to them. They've been backed. They've invested in the team, and if Chesterfield could maybe do the same.
We'll see. So you touch on coaching, Jack, as being next for you. What can we expect to see from Jack Lester in the years ahead? What's the plan?
Well,
I know you're a man with a plan. So.
Yeah, ultimately I'd like to be in management and working with the first team. Where, how many years down the line that is, I don't know. To get there, there's steps I need to take, and I need to be a better coach. So ideally, I'd like to be working with an academy for a couple of years, or for a period of time where I can get my hands on coaching every day, 2 or 3 times a day, and help with the team, and maybe that's where I'll stay. But my ambition is to be around the first team, and but I think my first step will be with an academy and improve as a coach. Gateshead allowed me 3 days, Monday, Wednesday, Sundays, and I coach with Notts County for the end of the season. It's something I love doing, and I always will stay in football. It's my passion, and that won't change. And so that's probably the path I'll take.
Now, final question, Jack. A playing return at Chesterfield in a charity game on Sunday. What are your thoughts going into a game where there's such adulation for you amongst Chesterfield fans?
Looking forward to it. I was at the pitch side yesterday with the senior Spirites, and had a look at the pitch, and you still get those special memories. I'd like to score a goal as you always do, and it's something I'm looking forward to, and I hope Karen, because it's a wonderful charity, will get the support that she needs, and that we'll be able to support the children that she's hoping to.
Jack Lester, thanks for allowing us into your home today, and good luck for the game on Sunday.
Thank you. Cheers.
We all love and cherish our children and our grandchildren. There are few aspects of life that are more special and heartwarming than seeing our young ones play, grow and develop into healthy and happy young adults. But sadly, for reasons that we often can't fathom, not all children enjoy the same fortune and the same benefits of a healthy and fully able body. Not all parents are blessed with the personal means to give their children the help and support that their poorly, disabled or just unfortunate children need and deserve. The Child Foundation has been formed to help children and their families with all types of life challenges. We want to offer a little help, some extra support, gestures of kindness and love, and a mission to help special children feel that little bit extra special. You can support the work of the Child Foundation by attending a special charity football match at the Proact Stadium, the home of Chesterfield Football Club. The date of the match is Sunday the 1st of June 2014. Kick-off time for the game is 4 p.m. and the price to attend is only £5 per person, and that's the price for an adult or a child. A celebrity football team called Once Upon a Smile will be fielding some well-known faces from television. And former Chesterfield players and legends will provide the opposition. There'll be some faces that Chesterfield fans will need no introduction to. You can buy your tickets for this special game in one of three ways. You can go along to the Chesterfield FC club shop during normal opening hours, by visiting the Anchor pub in Clown, or you can buy them online by simply visiting the Child Foundation Facebook page and following the link on the top of the page. Here's a little update for you on some of the children that we want to help from the charity football match. Beautiful little boy James from Hart Hill. James has an undiagnosed condition, and by his parents' own admission, James does not know really too much of what's going on around him. We want to raise funds to buy James a special bed that makes his life more comfortable and the lives of his parents a little easier. The simply gorgeous Josh from Chesterfield, a happy and inspiring little man that suffers from cerebral palsy and whose parents simply want Josh to have the closest experience to walking that's possible for him to have. We've found a special device made in Ireland that can ensure little Josh can do just that. Little Josh will get the experience of walking. And brave and inspiring Andrew, also from Chesterfield. Andrew has bravely battled and overcome leukemia. It's testament to his character that he now wants to set about the task of raising sufficient money to cover the cost of the treatment that he received from Sheffield Children's Hospital. We want to make a positive donation to Andrew's objective and to further raise awareness of the wonderful commitment that he's made. Please do try and attend the special charity football match on Sunday the 1st of June 2014, and please do tell all your friends about it.